you guys both have expressed interest in getting in becoming a community college instructor or a math instructor at a high school, right?
Yeah.
High school math instructor is going to be a little bit different because you have to do a credential process. Community college instructor will require at least a master's degree. Like that's min quals. You could also do a bachelor's degree with a number. You guys know how to get the min quals? Do you know about that? How to actually access where they're located on our website?
No.
On Foothill's website, you can see the requirements for min quals in a bunch of different ways through the, so let's see. And this would probably be true for any community college that you teach at. So let's do Foothill College faculty agreement. This is our union. We're so lucky to be unionized. And then this is the actual contract. It's open access to everybody who wants it. I don't know if they have min quals. They certainly have a description of min quals in the salary schedule. Yeah, here it is. So column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5. This, you can read what you kind of see this, Steve?
Yeah.
Associate's degree and 6 years of appropriate work experience, bachelor's degree and 2 years of appropriate work experience, master's degree, or, so that's column 1.
Mm-hmm.
Column 2 is master's or bachelor's and 2 years of appropriate work experience. Column 3 is master's degree and 24 semester units to date. Yeah, so, and then column 5 is earned doctorate, right? So one of the things that's interesting about this is you could actually calculate the difference between starting with a master's degree and a doctorate degree over your history, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, one of the things that's hard about the doctorate degree is that you put off earning money until later in your career. But one of the things that's nice about it is if you land with that, like it's a full $1,000 a month more. So you're getting $12,000 a year more to begin with, but then propagate that over a career.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't necessarily mean like that's a good decision right now, but you could do some analysis on that money, right? You could actually think to yourself, that has nothing. So anyways, these are the min quals. If you're interested in a community college degree, like having a master's degree is what I would call a bare minimum to entry.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a question. If you don't do a PhD, how are you going to fund your master's degree?
I don't know if there is a way to fund the master's.
Yeah, and so the point of, I encourage you guys to research the PhD. This is where I would prefer not to be on YouTube at this moment, but I'll go ahead and say it. If the point of encouraging the PhD is to give you options, in the worst case scenario that you decided that the PhD, this is where I would have you guys do due diligence and ask those hard questions prior to getting into the program. So if you apply for 3 different schools, you want to ask, can I get a master's in preparation for graduation? If so, how does that process work? Can you walk me through that right now? And if they ask, why are you asking about this? Are you planning not to finish? You can say, no, my career goal is to be a community college instructor. I'd like to get that on my resume. I know that many community college have part-time teaching jobs that I could do for the summer to make extra money. But many community colleges have a master's degree as a prerequisite for teaching. So if I get my master's degree in the first 2 years of my PhD, that allows me to make some money over the summer by actually teaching. And thus, I am asking this of you, my school, before I enter here. One of the things I want out of you all is to be able to get a master's degree prior to finishing so that I can get work experience in the community college network prior to graduating so that when I graduate, I get my dream job, right? Mm-hmm. So do you see that narrative that you would tell the school?
Okay, yeah.
But the reality is, once you have that master's degree, guess what? If you want the option, I'm not saying that that's the plan necessarily, but that gives you that option, right? Mm-hmm. So it allows you to get your master's degree, you know, that's where you have to do due diligence. That's, you have to ask the questions like, what, you know, what do you offer? How does this work? And like do a lot of work up the front to prep yourself as a strong candidate. But if you get to a school that allows you to get a master's as part of the process, and you know what that process is, et cetera, and you've contacted the local community college board prior to entering, a few things will be true. Number one, you could get a master's while you're working on your PhD and start doing part-time work at a community college to make some extra money. If you've already communicated to your PhD advisor that that's something that you're going to do, that person will know that the first day they meet you, and that won't be a surprise to them, right? Because you can ask them, how would you feel if I did teaching during the summers? Do you have research fellowships? Are you going to pay me? How does that whole thing work, right? In the worst case scenario that you decided not to finish, as long as you have that master's degree in hand, if the goal job is to become a community college teacher, guess what? You just got to, whatever it took to get that master's degree, that's all you got to finish, right?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, you're paying $0 out of pocket. In fact, you're having a positive, not only you're not paying for your tuition, you're having money paid to you via the school's funding mechanism. You have an escape route that you've researched and you figured out what that looks like, and it gets you closer to that job. It lands you closer to that job further forward, and it allows you to give options. So even if it was this case that you decided later in your life, oh yeah, by the way, I actually do want to finish my PhD, the fact of the matter is you have the master's degree in hand, and for whatever reason, like, it just takes the psychological pressure away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if the reason I didn't tell you, like, why don't you drop out of, not drop out, why don't you finish your bachelor's degree and then go pay for a master's? Well, guess what? How much a master's is going to cost you?
20,000, 50,000
minimum, right?
Yeah.
Where you're not even able to pay rent because you're having to pay tuition.
Yeah.
Right?